Good morning, class. We are into our second week, and I'm doing a quick screencast here for a grammar skill called independent and dependent clauses. So, if you're in my class, we talked about the different kinds of conjunctions and how they help us to link thoughts together to make complex or compound sentences. So, kind of taking you back down memory lane, Mr. McMahon's class and Mr. Zabel's class, you also talked about this, but I mentioned that we know that some sentences are called independent, so we think about them as adults. They don't need any help. They can work on their own. So they are thoughts that work without any help. And I use the mustache man symbol to label parts of sentences that work on their own. They when you read them out loud, they sound like a complete thought. But then there are some parts of a sentence that are dependent. So I used a baby symbol, the face of a baby, meaning they don't work on their own. They need help. They can't. Uh, they need the help of an adult to make a complete sentence. So I want to use that same thing to take you through this activity. So when you try this on Connect Ed, you'll have the ability to try it. Excuse me. All right, so I'm going to do one round. As you see, there are 6 rounds down here. So we'll do the first one together. The first sentence says, if we walk together, it will be safer. The directions want us to highlight the independent clause and underline the dependent clause. So I'm going to highlight the mustache man, the part of the sentence that works on its own. I'm going to underline the part that we would say is the baby. It's the dependent. It doesn't work by itself. And I think we can tell if we read them out loud which one works as an incomplete or as a complete thought. If we walk together, and there's a comma, so there's a place we can kind of already pause and say, here's one part of the thought, the clause. If we walk together, well, the conjunction here is at the beginning of a sentence. If, all right, it's not in the middle. It's starting the sentence. If we walk together, and that right away is a clue to me that this must be dependent, because if I put a period here, that's not a complete thought, is it? If we walk together, it needs more, right? So this has to be the dependent clause. So we're going to take our underline tool, the ruler, click, 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 click. You have to click on each of the words. All right, we're going to stop there together. The next part says, it will be safer. Now, if you just ignored this first part of the sentence, does this part here sound like a complete thought? It will be safer. Is that something you could say as a complete sentence? You betcha. So that's independent. It works on its own. So we're going to highlight that one. And that would be the mustache man if you're in Mr. X class. We'll have to include some resources on Blend so you can see what I'm talking about with the baby and the mustache man. All right, let's try another one. When you come home, remember to bring your homework. Okay, just like the last one, we can see the comma splits into 2 parts. So let's try this first part. When you come home. Okay, that doesn't really work by itself, does it? So let's see if this is the dependent clause, because there's our conjunction right here, when. Over here, remember to bring your homework. Well, that sounds like something that works by itself. I can hear a whole sentence there. All right, so far so good. He ate his lunch while I finished my homework. There's no comma here, so we have to kind of find the split. Well, the split is where a conjunction is. He ate his lunch. I finished my homework. The word in the middle here is while. All right, that's a subordinating conjunction. That's a word that is linking 2 thoughts. One, he ate his lunch. The other one, I finished my homework. So this is where we can find the split. All right, now the while goes with this part. While I finish my work. So he ate his lunch would be the independent. Let's highlight that. That works as a sentence. But the dependent is while I finished my work, because I can't just say that as a sentence. The word while messes it up because it needs more. And last one, I love to visit different cities. Well, I don't see any commas and I don't see any conjunctions. So guess what? This is all one whole thought. If it's all one whole thought and it works by itself without any help, it's going to be independent. So I'm going to highlight the whole thing. So that's a little tricky because there's no dependent. And we'll come over here to check. Fantastic. All right. Click the next button and try the next 5 rounds on your own. Good luck.